Hey guys, what's going on? It's James Smiley here, CEO of Ultimate Influencers and Tribal Talk, and seller of over $210 million in products before the age of 35. And hey, one thing that we're about to share here today, and one thing that I wanted to share with you guys, make sure that you're a part of the conversation, is, how do you go about generating influence with just you, just your personality, just what you have today, what you have to offer the world. It doesn't matter if you're talking about, you could be a manager, an individual contributor in a business, or you could be a president of a business, you could be an executive, you could be an entrepreneur, or you could just be somebody who, you run your own little business, or you have your 9 to 5 and you're looking to create something, on the side, right? So many people are doing that today, and it's awesome. It's really powerful and fun. And so, but how do you go about creating that influence where people want to work with you, they're attracted to you, and they want to buy from you, right? They want to buy from you, or they just want to listen. They just want to hear what you have to say. And one of the things that I would say that we really focus on at Ultimate Influencers, and I just try to really surround my business with this kind of culture, is if you're going to be an influencer today, doesn't matter what you do, okay? Doesn't matter if it's politics, doesn't matter if it's business, doesn't matter if it's entrepreneurship, doesn't matter if it's sports, music, religion, whatever, okay? The things where all the data is showing that the influencers, they have a certain type of personality, and that personality is a polarizing personality. Those are the people who are creating influence today. Those are the people who are changing the world. The world changers of our day right now. It's 2016. And definitely now it's been that way for a little while, but in the future it's going to be even more and more that way. And maybe we'll share a little bit about why that is in the future. But the reason that polarizing personalities are in polarizing content, not just personalities, but content as well, is influencing and changing the world, is because people want to hear from somebody who has an opinion. And some of the research that I've seen from big companies, Fortune 200s and bigger, some of my biggest clients in the past 10 years have been, Fortune 200s, Fortune 10s, those kind of things. Those of you who know my background, or have heard me speak at CES or CTIA or any of those shows, the data shows that people who don't have an opinion, or they're kind of in the middle, or they're always playing the nice guy card, okay? People come to those events, or they come to those groups, or they come to those people when they're down and out and they need self-help, or they really don't need self-help. What they really want is someone to make them feel good. They want a positive message. But those people, that content, okay, is not transforming their life. It's actually not changing their actions. It's not making them think different. It's not making them act different. It's not making them parent different. It's not making them buy different. The things that are making people buy and changing behavior are more polarizing personalities, okay? Doesn't matter what side of arguments you're on. Think about it. Think about the president. Think about the people who are influential in business right now. Some of the biggest companies that I've worked with in the past few years, as you know, are big mobile carriers, Fortune 10 mobile carriers for cell phones and things like that in the U.S. Think about the disruptors, the people who are making huge swings right now. T-Mobile and those guys. Think about the personality, right, of those companies and where they're at. But very polarizing personalities, right? Very polarizing content. Think about the entrepreneurial world. Think about software, and just think back in history, right? The people who really made drastic change are the polarizing personalities, the Martin Luther Kings, those kind of people. Now here's the thing. Some of you might think, well, polarizing automatically means that you're annoying and that you can be a jerk and it's an excuse to be obnoxious. That's not what I'm saying, okay? So make sure you understand that very clearly. That is not at all, not even close to what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you have to have an opinion and be willing to defend that opinion and not and be willing to say, this is what I believe. This is something we've talked about on our podcast, on our Ultimate Influencers Awaken podcast quite a bit in the past, was, you have to be willing to say, this is what I believe, and this is what I don't believe. Okay, most people will say, this is what we believe, but they will not say, this is what I don't believe. And the reason they won't is mostly because of political correctness. They're worried about losing buyers. They're worried about losing attendance. They're worried about, at the end of the day, they're worried about losing influence and losing revenue. And actually what's happening is they're losing influence. Even sometimes they don't realize it. They don't realize that they're actually losing influence. They think that because people walk into your store, that means that you're influencing them and that you're influencing their behaviors and their buying decisions. Doesn't mean that at all. And that's why big companies, really big companies, they're rating success based on something called Net Promoter Score, which, Net Promoter really means that somebody is willing to promote you, promote your brand, promote your ideas, promote your content, promote your products, even without you asking them, even without you asking for a referral, without you incentivizing them. They're willing to go out and promote your products, okay? And it's proven that the people in the products and the content with the highest Net Promoter Score, they're more polarizing content creators or personalities. That's just, that's the way that those are the things that are really being effective. And I think even throughout history, there's a very, very, very strong case that that's kind of the way it's always been. You look at, now here's the thing, polarizing to some people, you may think that that's not professional or something. I'm not talking about, people who go out and create a line across the highway. I mean that, and I'm not trying to, stand on some side of an issue, but I'm just saying that those kind of it's almost like you want to stay on the side of logic. Okay, I understand, that people have strong opinions and strong whatever, but you want to be able to curate your content in a way that is professional, and it's been a long day. Create your content in a way that the person that you're trying to influence, your ideal customer, your ideal client, you want to curate your content in a way that they want to receive it, okay? And most people don't want to receive content that is weird, obnoxious, that doesn't make common sense, right? So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying go out and do a bunch of things that don't make any sense or that are just flat out weird. But I am saying that you have to have an opinion, and you have to be willing to get out there, stand up for what you believe in, stand up for what your product and your service is all about, and go out there and represent it and make a difference, and let your personality and let the things let your passion, let those things really come out. You think about some of the most influential factors of the world of all time, right? You think about books, you think about religions, you think about those kind of things. Very polarizing personalities, very polarizing content. Those are the things that influenced and changed the world. And still today, even more than ever before, the way technology is going, the way the internet is going, because there's so much, interconnectivity, and because there's so much content out there, that it's proving more and more. I just saw some data not that long ago, and that's kind of what we're going to be sharing here today. And I wanted to make sure, like I said, that I recorded it for you guys. But it's proving more and more that the content and the people that are rising to the top as influencers in the world are those that are sticking to their guns, being passionate about what they really should be passionate about. You might think that, like you might have a really good service where you're remodeling homes, but what happens with a lot of people is they get into multiple different lines of business, multiple different streams of revenue, and that's all because of the internet and interconnectivity, and more information is available to you, so you feel like you can do more, you should do more, you should get involved in more, and there's a lot of people who will tell you, you need to start new lines of business and diversify and all this stuff, and I'm not saying don't go out there and diversify and don't have multiple lines of income, but I am saying you need to think about, are you actually driving home a real influential message with your core product and your core offer and your core being of who you really are? And if you're doing that, if you're really driving home a core message, then you should be just polarizing enough that you're going to really attract and create pattern disruption in the market, pattern disruption in the content, on YouTube, on social media, on billboards, on ads, those kind of things. You're going to create just enough pattern disruption where your ideal customer is going to hear you, is going to pay attention, and is going to want to be a part of whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for being here. Be sure to check us out on ultimateinfluencers.com. Check out our free blog, ultimateinfluencers.com/blog, where we've got literally hundreds and hundreds of daily mentoring and entrepreneur hacks that we've recorded. And also on ultimateinfluencers.com, we got a really killer training center for influence, and that teaches you everything you need to know about influence, about gaining influence. Doesn't matter what field you're in or what you're trying to do. So we've got that all available for you for free. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. I'm going to get this one done here at the hotel, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.